Hello and welcome to the Fourth Down Podcast on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there. We are your hosts for today, as always. My name is Alex,
My name is Mickey.
and today we'll be predicting the NFC South, a division where it wasn't the best last season. With the winning team of the division went 8-9. So just like last video, we're gonna start from the bottom to the top, and then we're gonna briefly go um, their offseason moves, and then we're going to briefly go through every game, who we think is going to be going, or which game we're going to be winning, which game we're losing, etc. So, just to get right into this, predictions, let's start with fourth place, in which we got the Carolina Panthers in fourth place. Now, the Carolina Panthers, pretty much trying to find the right quarterback. They drafted Bryce Young with the first overall pick. After a big trade with the Chicago Bears, getting rid of DJ Moore, but they did pick up DJ Chark and Adam Thielen. I thought the Panthers had a pretty good offseason, despite trading away DJ Moore and a bunch of draft picks. So I think Bryce Young in that very underrated running game with Carolina, along with the two receivers. And Chenon's a great receiver too, so I think Carolina won't be too bad. Now, when we break down every game for the Panthers, you look at their schedule, it's not the toughest, nor it's not the easiest. But right off the bat, they're going to go at Atlanta. I think the Carolina Panthers will lose that game. I think the Falcons are going to be a team which we're going to describe a little bit later in the video, or on the uprising. But at Atlanta, a loss. I do think they upset the Saints at home. Derek Carr's new offense get a little rusty. And I have them lose their next 4 games at Seattle, home against the Vikings, at Lions, and at Miami. But yeah, so far the Panthers going 1-5 before they head into bye week. And after the bye week, I think they beat the Houston Texans. And they're going to lose their next 3 after that. Indy at home, at Chicago, and against the Cowboys at home. And then I have them upsetting the Titans at Tennessee. Then having them lose at Tampa Bay and at New Orleans. And for their last 4 games, I have them winning at home against the Falcons, losing to Green Bay, upset win at Jacksonville, and losing at home against the Buccaneers to finish 5-12. So, kind of the expectation I think you would give the Panthers. Now they could, get a few more wins. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't. This is gonna be more of a building year for Carolina than anything. Um, so they could do better. They could do worse, and it's gonna depend on how Bryce Young develops and how the team plays around him.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is going to be the receiving core now with, you lose DJ Moore, but you do pick up DJ Chark and Adam Thielen, who are still, great receivers. Adam Thielen a little up there in age, but DJ Chark is a tremendous receiver. I like that pickup for Carolina.
Yeah, but even having a veteran receiver can be helpful for a rookie QB.
Agree. Now, before we jump to third place, there are some flip games which I think Carolina could do. I think the Falcon game at week 1 could be a flip. Houston 2. Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson. So those games I think could improve the Panthers to, I think their ceiling can be like 8-9. And the floor definitely could be like 2-15. But I think 5-12 is a great spot. I think Carolina is going to be like Justin Fields last year with the Bears, trying to evaluate Justin Fields, get him something going, get a few wins there. But I would not be surprised if they can go 8-9 too. So that's the Carolina Panthers. In third place in the division, we got the Atlanta Falcons, who I think could be a very dark horse candidate to not only win a division, but could potentially make an upset in the first round of the playoffs in a weak NFC. Now, I love the Falcons. I love their offseason. They had a really tremendous offseason, maybe the best in the NFL. Getting Jesse Bates, training for Jeff Okudah, getting Calais Campbell, re-signing Corey Lindstrom, acquiring Jonnu Smith. And they got another one of their tackles signed too, which helps the Falcons a lot. Now the main question is obviously going to be Desmond Ridder and how he does, but getting Bijan Robinson helps too. I think Bijan Robinson and I believe Cordell Patterson still are too. They have one of the best dynamic running back duos in the NFL. So
They already did, but yes.
Mm-hmm. But we'll see. I think Atlanta's a great team, and let's break down their schedule. Panthers hosting the Panthers week 1. Like I said earlier, I think Falcons are going to beat the Panthers. I think they lose to Green Bay week 2 at home. And in week 3, you're going to the Lions. I think that's going to be a loss. In the next 3 games, I have them winning at Jacksonville, Houston home, and Commanders at home. So the Falcons are now 4-2. And this is going to head into week 7 at Tampa Bay. I have them losing. At Tennessee, I have them losing too. Home against the Vikings, a loss. And right before the bye week at Arizona is going to be a win. So heading into bye week, the Falcons, in our predictions, are going to be 5-5. And to close out the season after the bye week, which will be week 13, sorry. They're going to lose to the Saints at home. They're going to lose to Aaron Rodgers and the Jets on the road. They're going to win Tampa Bay at home. They're going to lose on the road at Carolina. They're going to beat the Colts at home. And the last 2 games at Chicago, at New Orleans, I think are going to be losses, which will be a 7-10 season, which is many expectations for the Falcons. Now, I think their ceiling, you got games like Green Bay. I think at Tennessee could be a flip too. Green Bay, Tennessee, Carolina, one of the New Orleans games too. Their ceiling, I think, can be 9-8. And I think their floor, they could be 4-win team.
Yeah, I could agree with that. The Falcons, I mean, the biggest thing they had going for them last season was their run game. And if they can keep that up and build up the rest of the team, I think they can make something happen. I just don't know that it's going to be this season.
Now, I do like the Falcons' defense, too. They're a very underrated defense, but their offense, too, has a lot of depth. You got Drake London, Bijan Robinson with Cordell Patterson, and John Smith and Kyle Pitts, which is going to help Desmond Ridder out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they have the pieces they need. It's just being able to put them together.
And in a division like the NFC South, like I said, this division, the Falcons can win. I said that on a TikTok post. I think the Falcons could be a team that I think could make the playoffs because of how bad a division. But it could also honestly upset a team in the first round, depending on who they play. Because the NFC, there's only like 3 good teams. Yeah. So that's the Falcons' schedule prediction. Again, 7-10 for the Atlanta Falcons. We're down to second place. And before we continue, it's kind of obvious who we think is going to be the division winners. Many people have them winning the division. But number 2, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, the Buccaneers, they had an offseason that they'd probably like to have, a little more. But you lost Tom Brady. You lost Leonard Fournette. Devin White's, who knows what's going to happen to him. I think he's still going to be playing. I think he requested a trade earlier in the offseason. But they did get Baker Mayfield, who can be good at times and can be awful at times. Many, many times. But they did pick up Scotty Miller, the speedster from... my apologies. They did not pick up Scotty Miller. That was another thing Atlanta picked up, Scotty Miller. And they got Cansey, the defensive tackle from Pitt. So Tampa Bay had a pretty decent offseason. They're trying to not really keep that rebuild mentality, but trying to get back to the postseason. And like I said, especially in this division, they might. But Baker Mayfield, like I said, he led the Browns to their first playoff win in like 20 years. He can't be that guy, but he can also be.
Well, that's the thing that we talk about all the time is it's not just the player, it's who's around them and where they're at, the division they're in, all of those different factors.
Now, we'll say, though, he does have a great receiving core. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. So, he does have weapons.
Yeah. And, well, it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out.
Yeah, so, let's jump right into their schedule, too. So, Tampa Bay, Obviously, we have them in second place, but breaking down their schedule, how did they jump to second place? Well, at Minnesota, they start the season is going to be a loss. Just letting you know, the first 5 games, I have them losing. Chicago, I think, is going to be a loss. Philadelphia, at home, is a loss. At New Orleans is a loss. Then you get the bye week. And Detroit, at home, is going to be a loss.
That's an early bye week.
Yeah, week 5 is real early. But after that, I got them some W's. Falcons win. At Buffalo, loss. Next 2 games, at Houston, win. Tennessee, win. At San Francisco is going to be a loss. At Indianapolis, a win. Carolina, home is a win. And then at Atlanta, at Green Bay are losses. Jacksonville, at home, is a loss. And I have them finishing the season with 2 straight wins. Home against the Saints and at the Panthers, giving them a 7-10 record. Now, with how division matchups are, that's why the Bucs are in second place, because they have a better division record. So I don't think it's a bad prediction for the Bucs. I think that's going to be where most people have the Buccaneers at. But you look at their schedule, flip games could be, I'm going to be honest, maybe at Green Bay, at Atlanta, could be flip games. Could flip to 9-8. Maybe Chicago too. But yeah, thoughts on the...
Detroit could be a flip game because Lions end up always winning the hard games and losing the easy games, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Now, if you want to see the Lions schedule, watch the NFC North video that was posted last week. But no, I think the Bucs have the first part of the schedule is rough. Like, that's a tough first 5 games.
Yeah, and again, the Bucs don't have a ton of expectations on them.
No.
But that doesn't mean they couldn't do well.
No, and like I say, you can have the Baker Mayfield who led the Browns to the playoff win, or you can have the Baker Mayfield who just got out of Carolina 2 months. I mean, we'll see. I mean, because he can be a good quarterback, he cannot be. We'll see. But overall, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 7-10, second place. Now, the winners in first place of the 2023 NFC South Division comes to no shock to anybody. I mean, on paper. And that is the New Orleans Saints. The Saints had a great offseason. They acquired Derek Carr, Jamal Williams. And I think Derek Carr being like one of the best signings they had in recent memory because they needed a quarterback. They couldn't figure out, with Jameis Winston. They couldn't figure out with Taysom Hill. I mean, Jameis Winston is still the backup quarterback, but getting Derek Carr was huge for them. And also getting Brian Breesy, I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name, defensive tackle with their 29th overall pick. Bring some pass rush on the defensive side. But I personally, out of all the moves, I like the Jamal Williams signing because him and Kamara are going to wreak havoc against defensive players.
Oh, yeah, you have the best of both worlds with those 2 receivers.
And people forget, Jamal Williams can not only be obviously a running back, but he can be a pass-catching running back. Like, we've seen Jamal Williams in the backfield just catching passes. And that's, like you said, best of both worlds. Both these guys can run the ball, they can catch the ball. Who knows? They might throw the ball this season, too. But, so, let's go to the New Orleans Saints schedule. And as always, we're starting from week 1, working our way down to week 18. They open the season at home against Titans. That's going to be a win. We think they're going to lose on the road against Carolina. So, 1-1. Then they go to Green Bay. Win. Tampa Bay home. Win. Then they're going on the road at New England. We think it's going to be a loss. Then at Houston, it's going to be a win. At home against the Jaguars, loss. At Colts, win. Chicago home, win. At the Vikings, a loss. Then they get a bye week. A nice week 11 bye week. And they're going to Atlanta off the bye week. That's going to be a win. Detroit, win. Panthers home win. Giants win. The next 2 games at Rams and at Bucs are going to be losses. And I think they finished the season at home against the Falcons with a win, bringing their record to 10-7 and winning the NFC South. Now, you could have a couple flip games too. Like, I'm looking at Tampa Bay, at New England, maybe at Green Bay too, at Atlanta. Those division games are always tough. I think their ceiling could be 12-5, and their floor, I don't think they lose more than, or they win less than 7 games.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't think the Saints are going to have a stellar year, but I'm definitely rooting for them to do well. I don't know. I mean, this division is so interesting because any of these teams could come out and just be like, boom, we're here. And the Saints are obviously on paper the best team in this division right now, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if, obviously, if out of these teams have the best shot at winning, obviously under the Saints, I think Atlanta's going to be scary good. If not this season, then I definitely think next season they'll win a division in 2024. Like, it's going to be a fun division to watch. We're going to say about every video, every division is going to be fun to watch, but it's true.
Yeah, and it's true for different reasons for every division. And honestly, the thing I'm most excited about is to look back on all these predictions in January.
Yeah. Because we know these ain't going to be accurate. I mean, some might be, but...
I mean, hey, if we're within, 2 to 3 games accurate for the predictions, that's pretty good.
But yeah, so let's jump right to the standings real quick. So, these are predictions on your screen right now. Again, 4th place, we got the Carolina Panthers with a 5-12 record. 3rd place, the Atlanta Falcons with a 7-10 record. 2nd place, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 7-10 record. And 1st place in your NFC South Division champs will be, according to us, the New Orleans Saints with a 10-7 record.
Yeah, I mean, every division is interesting for different reasons, but there are some divisions where you look at them and you're like, yeah, pretty sure that person's going to win the division, and you can predict it pretty easily. But this is one where they're all kind of have been the underdog at one point in the past 5 years.
Yeah, nobody... I mean, look at the NFC East, for example. Last season was like the 2020 NFC East. All the teams went under 500, and now... Not saying that all teams can go over 500 this season, but they're on the rise. And if, the Bryce Young, Desmond Ridder can play well along with Baker Mayfield, who knows? But we think that's going to be an interesting division. I still think the NFC North is going to be the most fun division to watch, but this one, yes, it's bad. Yes, it was worse last season, but that's what makes it exciting.
But I love when bad teams do well. I don't know that they will, but I love to see it, and I hope that we do.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so other than that, I think that's going to be it for the show. The next one's going to be the AFC South. We'll try to upload in a few days. Any last thoughts before we head out?
I don't think so. I think I'm just excited for the season to start and see how this plays out.
Same here. We're almost there. Hurry.
Preseason's going to start, and we're going to see some of these rookies and be like, oh, man.
Yes. But all right, everybody. Thank you for always listening to The 4th Down. Please follow us on TikTok, Instagram, subscribe to us on YouTube, and Spotify. It will happen one day. I say that in every video. It never does, but it will happen. We will get there on Spotify. Please.
Maybe by next year.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe by the 2024 NFL kickoff season. But yeah, please like and share the video. Please spread the word. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and bye, y'all.